Where last we left our kindred, they had dealt with several other forms of supernatural beasts. Fairies gone mad with power, attempting to summon their higher courts back to the mortal world. A demon ripping the heart of a local businessman and entrepreneur. Ghosts on ships, and wolves in the woods. Their first 5 years in Vreehaven having been a series of ups and downs, spattered by a few to a mortal reckoning, world-shattering events. But in the nights after exorcising a spirit from the body of one Hubert Putter, things begin to settle down. A rhythm begins to form. Day-to-day activities left uninterrupted by the intervention of supernatural beings. Lives left unthreatened. And time allowed to creep forward. Slowly at first, but eventually, years will go by like days. And we are here tonight to discover what our vampires do as time begins to slip through their hands like grains of sand at the beach, and the nature of their immortal curse begins to shape their perspective. It is April 6th. The year is 1655. Who would like to elucidate on their plans first? Lay out the groundwork. See what they're going to do.
Well, mine's pretty simple and really close.
Very well. What are your immediate plans? Yeah, Cameron Ty, what are your immediate plans? What are you doing in the first few nights?
Yeah, just going around. Well, at the start of the night, she will try to check on Oscar Hood,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, fresh produce distribution.
How do you intend on checking on Mr. Hood? Do you go out to into the uh mining encampment yourself? Do you peer on him with your vampiric perception?
Oh yes, going to use Ospec and communicating to him in his mind. But this time she will start with "Be not afraid."
Okay. Okay, so go ahead and roll to communicate with him while I roll some dice for him.
Oh, do I roll for the astral form as well?
Oh, for astral form, yeah, it's a very low difficulty because you're not going super far, but you need to roll to see if you pop out in the right spot. Yeah, you managed to astrally project to the right space.
Ring ring.
What messages do you send him in his mind?
Be not afraid. I merely want to communicate.
You project yourself and you find him. This is early in the evening, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. Really early in the evening.
You find him just waking up in one of the longhouses. Um, his brow already sweating, his bunk a bit damp, perhaps from night terrors. He looks a bit tired, even now just waking up from sleep. It's clear he hasn't been getting good rest.
Yes. How was his reaction to her first two messages?
His eyes dilate, his face runs pale, and he jolts in his seat. You can tell he's looking around the room shiftily, but his eyes keep darting to the pillow.
Do you have nightmares?
He's breathing heavily. Well, you can see that he's breathing heavily. He's doubling over. His eyes are shifting around. He's not saying anything right yet, but he's trying to see if anyone's speaking.
You won't be able to find me, but you're safe. I'm here to help.
This isn't real. This isn't real. You need to just shut it out. It's not real. He just puts his head in his hands and is just trying to breathe deeply. You see his back and his shoulders heaving as he does.
Take a deep breath. You're fine. You're safe. I will help you. You are safe.
Roll me leadership plus... actually no, it's gonna be... Let's double check our... brain. What are the stats I want you to roll? One of them is definitely leadership. I'm going to think charisma. Yeah, charisma plus leadership here.
This is the next night, correct? So I have my willpower back?
Yes, but don't you have to spend
and
willpower
already
to...
spend it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go. App.
Yeah, a deep panic seems to be setting over him. His breath is getting shallower and quicker. He actually let me roll something real fast for him. Oh, that's bad. He throws the pillow onto the ground and pulls the pistol out from underneath it. Get out of my head. Get out of my head, you're not real. Several of the men in the longhouse sit up and look at him as he's clearly beginning on the verge of a nervous break. Get out of my head, you're not real. You're not real.
She'll just watch for the time being. If he doesn't seem to get any better at all, she will leave him alone for the night.
Okay, after a while, well, okay, so first off, a few of the other men in the beds get up and start slowly, cautiously approaching him as he is clearly on the verge of a nervous breakdown with a gun in his hand. He sets it down as he slowly gets a hold of himself and he's tackled to the ground by several of the other men. You're sick, or do you need help? It's not real. They're not real. It's just, I don't know. It told me to kill myself on the ship, and it's been following me ever since. It's not real. How long do you stay? How long do you
Just
watch?
to make sure he doesn't end up killing anybody there or blow his brain off.
So he gets tied up, his gun gets taken away, and he's just sort of stuck in a corner of the longhouse. And it's pretty clear he's been restrained, but you've... It's... He's not in good shape.
All right.
The other men in the
last
longhouse are talking about getting him help, maybe taking him to a priest.
Okay, last attempt before he goes to the priest and this get worse. We'll tell him that, yes, I've been following you since the boat, but only for your safety. I have a place where you can hide. We can talk in person.
Charisma plus leadership again.
Oh, thank God!
He's just sort of sitting there. He was rocking back and forth, and then you say, in person, and he stops. You're real. You're not in my head, are you? Where?
No, I'm... Can I read from his expression what he's thinking?
Roll me wits plus empathy.
Oh my God!
He's reached a... You believe this man has reached nirvana? He is one with the Buddha, and in his next reincarnation, he will go to the Pure Lands.
Well, we can set up a meeting somewhere. What about the place that you used to stay? And the tavern?
Alright.
The pub?
The public house. Darrow's public house.
Yes.
Sure. That sounds great.
When can you make it there?
I don't know. They probably want to... They'll probably take me to church. Have the priest see if there's a devil in my head and try to cast it out. I could slip away on the road, I think.
Are you a Catholic or are you a Protestant?
God's not real, but you are, whatever you are. Maybe they are too. I don't know. I've seen some things.
What have you seen?
I think you know.
Well, you can tell me that later, or you can tell me now.
You were on the ship, right? You've been following me.
Yes.
You must have seen it all.
Yes. The condition in that ship. I've seen it. I've seen what he did to you, too.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know who or what you are, but I look forward to finding out. After all, God never ransomed me, but here we are having a chat.
Well, I'm no god, but I think you deserve better. I think I can help.
Darrow's public house.
All right. And please don't hurt anyone while trying to get there.
Sure. Don't want to hurt them. They're just doing their jobs.
Out of character. I didn't understand that.
Sure, don't want to hurt them, they're just doing their jobs.
I'll be waiting there. And then she returned back to her body.
Right. So, do you make your way to Darrow's public house?
She will tell Kristoff about this first.
Okay.
Knock knock, Kristoff! Kristoff! She started banging on the door.
By now you could be awake if you wanted to be, Kristoff. Okay. If you're talking, your headset muted.
The hell?
There you go.
The hell?
I managed to arrange a meeting with Oscar Hood at Darrow's public house. He's going to be taken to a priest, so we might get to meet him.
Oh, really?
Yes. Apparently he is seeking help. I think he reached Nirvana.
Huh?
Oh, like enlightenment. Yes. I think he finally reached enlightenment.
He raises a singular eyebrow.
Yes. Darrow's public house. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, let's go. Let's...
Should we get the others? Nah, he'll spook out. Actually, yes, maybe you can hide a corner. Pretend that you didn't come with me. Maybe they'll make him less spook. He's really, really paranoid. It actually took a lot to get to him.
So, remind me exactly how you've been trying to get to them?
I just keep telling him that it's fine, he's safe. I'm trying to save him. And surprisingly, I asked him not to hurt anybody on his way to the public house, and he said, "Sure, they're just doing their job." And I think he's not as bad as we think. He's just really damaged.
Huh.
Yes,
But...
he has the same scars as you, Kristoff, all over his back. I'm not saying that
So-
you're damaged.
he just... Let's just go. I'll make arrangements there once we're at it. It's better if
Alright.
it's better if he doesn't see me anyways.
Ah, yes, true. I mean, you kind of start problem with him and Benedict, right?
I sent him to Benedict. He started the problem. Oscar. So...
Yeah.
Not sure in this 5 years he still remembers that, or put two and two together, but not gonna risk it at this point.
It's been 5 years already since the beat up. I thought it's one much more recent.
No, that was after the time.
Oh.
Yeah. Brain farter on that one, recalling that. Not sure. Not sure if those 2 weeks he has put 2 and 2 together, but not skipping it. Not taking any chances.
Right. To the public house.
Oh, time's up. I don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah. So the two of you make your way into town.
Oh yeah, she brings some produce to Daryl as well.
You arrive. Darrow looks at you. Okay, is this
Daryl,
like... Hi.
here. This from my farm. You should eat more leafy green. And this is really fresh egg as well. I just harvested this morning. And eat more fruits. Enjoy the sunlight. It'll help brighten the mood.
Okay. I mean, thank you. Saves me from market tomorrow, even though he just gestures out his front window right there. Actually, we mostly station. Are they? Sure. What you need? Unless this was just to drop off some stuff for dinner.
Oh, that's just for yesterday. I didn't mean to upset you.
Right.
And we're about to meet with Mr. Orskahood. She grins.
Isn't that the bloke from the slavish?
Yes.
The one who
Assassin.
tried to beat... the one who tried to beat Benedict to death.
Yes. He's coming here. Maybe later tonight or tomorrow night. We'll see. But I managed to arrange a meeting with him, and it's here with people, so it should be safe, right?
He just sort of sighs. So, you're gonna be here too, right? He says, looking at...
Absolutely.
He reaches under his counter and puts a key on the bar. There you are for your meeting.
Oh, thank you.
I do promise to get some sort of warehouse for this sort of things next time.
I mean, wouldn't hurt.
Yep. Been looking to getting one anyways for the to start hosting the produce.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, try the fish sauce out. Let me know how you like it.
Have some water around when you do. People tell me it helps out the first time.
He lifts up whatever glass container you gave him the fish sauce in. Fish sauce?
Yes, it's really, really savory sauce. Claudio said it's like what's that word in Greek? That something lum.
I don't speak Greek.
Well, fish sauce. Don't use too much. It's really salty, but it gives like really good I suppose sardine like smell to the food. A little hint.
I mean, I mostly eat fish already. Does it need fish on the fish?
Well, yes. If you're going to use it on a fish, I recommend some minced chili and lime juice or lemon juice.
Fuck is a lime or a whatever.
Well, I'll go wait in the room.
I know, he would know what a lime is. Fuck's a chili?
Red, really hot, spicy thing.
Okay, because for a second there, I thought you wanted me to, like, wrap a blanket around my tongue.
No.
He just sort of shrugs. The two of you, do the two of you go upstairs and wait for the man of the hour?
Yes.
So you're there most of the evening. Both of you can give me a wits plus alert.
Oh, let's go. Does paranoia contribute to this?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yes.
So the both of you hear bells. Not church bells, but like hand clackers in the distance, and see torchlight move throughout some of the streets in the town outside from the windows of the room you're staying in. Some sort of commotion going on. The militia up and at 'em, running around here and there.
Huh?
And before long, you
goddamn.
hear the heavy sounds of on boards and the rapping of knuckles against solid wood.
High in my ear. High in sense.
Hmm?
Oh, it's broken again. So, what do I roll to, like, hear something really, really well?
Wits plus alertness. You are hearing things very, very well right now, in fact.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to listen? What are you trying to hear? Tell me that now.
What is the commotion about? What are people saying?
You open the window and lean your ear out to the wood, to the air, open at night air. That's the word. And you hear, considering you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes, and you have auspex. Well, auspex is more eyes than by all means. I don't think you would actually.
High in sense she can pick out too, like which senses she wants to high in.
Is that a thing with auspex? I thought auspex.
Yeah, aspect 1.
Right. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you open yourself to the distant sounds, amongst dozens of sets of heavy footfalls, sound of clattering bells, sound of the militia. You're a familiar voice, Gabor Vorman, speaking to another familiar, one of the workers. I don't know how he got away. He just did. He's off his rocker. Oh, is he dangerous? Vanished into the streets while we church, and he's been waving around a gun for the last 2 days. I'm not sure if he's got anything on him now, but really dangerous with his face, I'll say.
She will go to the door. Is that you?
Yes.
Come in. She'll open the door. Quickly, they're looking for you.
You see Oscar Hood standing in the doorway.
Is he armed?
He's holding a lantern.
Oh, quickly.
We just
You
bring you to
move
another
aside for him to
page.
get in.
Steps in. Which of you was the one the whole time?
She raised her arms. It was me.
Strange. Had the devil for.
I'm no devil. It's just a thing people do in the East.
Kamutai. Benedict, you're both entitled to a wits plus alert.
Oh
Maybe
boy.
he's, Christoph.
Oh yeah, sorry, Christoph.
Ooh.
Kamutai, you notice this immediately. Christoph, you only notice it while he's Kamutai. His hand goes to the lantern. He's going to do something with it. And from the tensing of his muscles and the flexing of his jaw and the gritting of his teeth, this something's violent. You have a chance to to act before.
She'll step back, please. What you're thinking, please do not do it.
Roll me a charisma plus your choice of leadership or empathy.
Empathy! No! No way!
Actually,
No way!
so he opens the front of the lantern, whips it up over his head, and smashes it against the ground. Glass shattering, metal twisting, oil spilling out onto the wooden floor as flame and wick catches.
Why?
The room begins to set ablaze. Door vampires. Fire bad. Roll me courage.
Oh no.
Fire indeed bad. I need to... Stuff about the red fear. Never find this section. Oh, here we go.
Oh, that once, I swear.
Okay, this is at least the site of torch level. PC 5. Christoph. 5 successes for 4 successes. Grudge roll. 5 successes must be ignore the beast completely. Vampire overcome for you. Greater or lesser period. Fire flees. Kemutai, you have a few seconds of control over your beast before the instinct to immediately flee overtakes you. Christoph, flame has entered the equation. You do not wish to approach. The beast is screaming in your head to get out of here, to run. But you've been a knight before. You know what it is to face danger. You know what it is to overcome your instincts of your flight instincts and to face down something that will kill you, you can act for now. As this man stands firmly in the doorway above a spreading fire.
Above the spreading fire.
Yeah, he smashed it, dashed the lantern across the ground in front of his feet. It honestly looks like he's being burned a bit himself, but he's standing in the doorway.
Well, he will absolutely deem this as a lost cause at this point. Do two things. Actually, fuck. Yeah, just... Does he have the pistol in his hands? Or
He's completely
invisible?
unarmed.
Completely unarmed.
Came in here carrying the lantern and he smashed it across the ground. You know, not got anything else in his hands.
Alrighty, just... fucking hell. Christoph would just turn out the sound and try to bite him at this point.
You're gonna go for a bite? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that his dex was brawling.
Yeah. So pure dex. I'm gonna spend a willpower, because fuck this.
Okay, that's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's the guy says it's because of the willpower spent. That's... I'm gonna try to shove you off of him. Yeah, no, he manages to keep you off of his neck. You lunge towards him and, go for the bite. And he grabs you by the shoulder. And keeps you away from his throat. His eyes going wider as he sees the fangs come from your mouth. Kemrutai, you can see him mouth the words vampire as sound has exited from the...
Then this last action at this point, if available still in chalk, just pull the pistol and just against his head.
Try to shoot him.
Yep.
Yeah, go for it.
Same again, no fucking room for error, so willpower.
Firearms. Ooh. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe we said that a pistol is 1 damage die on its own. So roll me 7d10. Lethal damage against a mortal.
Wait, quiet is on, right? Quiet is 1.
Yep. So nothing can be heard right now. There is no noise going on in this room. 1. Goddamn. He takes 1 point of damage. as you push the gun against his head and it fires. A flash of light, a gout of blood, and a grazing shot against his ear as he managed to jerk his head out of the way, apparently. Fire bad? You are currently standing atop of a fire. That is too much for your beast. You may attempt another self-control, but you can feel every muscle fiber in your being telling you to run, telling you to flee, telling you to get the fuck out of here, you fool, you insane man. You're going to get us both killed. You can continue to act in the scene, but you cannot approach the fire.
Okay, then. Just as a last... Just last fuck you, because he knows this one will keep it in place. He will activate a discipline at this point. He's... What the hell is with this mortal?
Do I get any action?
Yeah, you can. You have about one action. You can't approach the fire. You were not brave enough to do that, but you can try to do something.
I use the imitation one and calm him down.
Okay.
I have to roll. That's charisma and empathy. Okay.
Yep.
Let's go. Oh, thank God, Tim! Thank God!
Who let the ones out? What the...
I don't know what's up with my luck today! It's been shit since last night!
Well, the good thing you have that 10. So here's the thing. He didn't seem like frothing with rage or anger. He already seemed calm. A little bit of wonder and surprise on his face for a moment there that suddenly vanishes as he's sort of just pushing Kristoff off of himself, standing above this fire. An almost supernatural serenity falling over his body as he's just sort of standing above this flame, just looking at you. Soft smile spreading across his face of recognition, of understanding, as he watches this fire spread.
I think that's when Kim ran to the other side of the room.
Okay, then. At this point, it's last bag of trick, I guess. Or last trick in the back. He would activate Dagon's call.
Dagon's
AKA,
call.
I'll send you a restriction.
You? Uh-huh. Okay. So, okay, you've touched them prior. Okay, yeah, with an okay. The PowerPoint. Contested stamina roll against their stamina. Difficulty equal to their permanent willpower. Okay. Go ahead and make yourself a stamina roll. It's his stamina.
One sec, just checking. Oh my freaking god.
Okay, so both got one success. So yeah, you spend the point of willpower. You reach forth and you. It's strange. You have to muscle this magic into existence because of the stamina requirement, or rather, the force of invoking this magic recoils onto yourself. But the fire, this strange man's. Frankly, his face looks really creepy with this calm smile across it. And the pain of your own lungs beginning to have their capillaries burst with blood. It's too much. The beast is in full revolt. You must flee. Anything your way must die. Anything your way that... There's another way. There's a window. Kemrutai, Kristoff, both of you need to give me a Dex plus... let's see. Athletics, as you each hurl yourself out of the window to the second floor. Okay.
Who gets to the window first? That's the thing. She was already running.
Yeah, Kemrutai, you're probably going to jump out first because you were not able to control yourself nearly. But, you know.
Oh, now it's a good roll, of course.
What the
Can you
hell?
try? You fling yourself out of the window. You land hard on your shoulder. You take a point of bludgeoning damage.
Oof.
Kristoff jumps out after you, and despite the beast having fully taken control over his body at this moment, does a 3-point superhero landing. Perfect form.
Wow. Ooh.
And within, like, moments, it's bizarre. The fire continues to spread, the light getting brighter and brighter, the beast telling you to get further and further away, and your bodies acquiesce. As you move further and further away from this bubble of... The bubble of silence passes out from over the tavern, and you see a sudden rush of mortal activity as the fire is recognized not only for its heat, but the crackling noise and sound and smoke. The beast telling you to get further and further away as the fire grows brighter and brighter. The common house, Darrow's common house, from the entire second floor up is ablaze. A giant bonfire in the night. The fire raging more and more and consuming more and more. Licks and embers going from one roof to another. Downtown Vreehaven catching alight. Your instincts drive you further and further back. Further away from the fire. Until you reach... probably somewhere around here. Going through the market squares, going through the back alleys, as the fire grows and spreads. Soon, you're able to gain control of yourself. I am going to roll some dice real fast and see just how much of Vreehaven is destroyed in the fire.
Oh.
1, 2, 3. There's 4. 1. This
Who's at the
entire block
floor?
engulfed in flames. 2. Actually, no, that's the market square. That's actually entirely fine. 3. burn down, and 4.
What is that for? The
See
theater?
the 4, that's the market square.
Oh, okay, so 3 is the pub. Okay.
Yeah. This entire portion of Rehaven burned to cinders. Benedict, Evelyn, Benedict especially, you notice this. After all, by the time the bells are ringing and people are shouting fire, it's consumed half of your adjacent block and it's coming towards your boxing place. Evelyn, it's within minutes that you and many of the nuns are roused from your slumber and your nightly activities to watch from the other side of the harbor as Lower Freehaven bursts into flames. The town rallies. It does its best to help fight the fire. Yeah.
Oh. Where are Christoph and Cam right now?
They've made it. They're either probably sheltered. Their beast would have forced them probably down towards the shore or up towards the manor district. Because going any further into that way would be death.
Evelyn will be preparing for anyone that needs to have somewhere to sleep tonight or is injured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
Benedict will try to get the attention of everyone else in town. Tell them to get buckets, water, help with the fire, while avoiding the fire himself.
Benedict, go ahead and give me a charisma plus leadership and then a courage.
Oh no!
Which was which? Was the first
Muted?
one leadership?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, first one is charisma plus leadership. Second one is courage.
So you're actually able to rally some of the town. Luckily for everyone involved, the town militia was already looking for an escaped madman at the time, and at full alert. You managed to help with some extent. Mostly, you're just spending the entire time having people drag some of their valuables or sleeping family members out of nearby buildings that are catching flame. These blocks are not just individual houses, they're all several houses, businesses, warehouses, all smashed up together. Mostly made of wood, which is why they caught so easily and so quickly. In fact, part of your best efforts with leading this group and some of the militia is just tearing down a wall of buildings and, like, dumping sand onto the rubble. It's clear that if you hadn't acted, things would have been worse and more people died. Speaking of which, Evelyn, for the next few nights, your convent and your chapel ram-packed with people.
Understandably.
Yeah, there's easily over 100, 200, maybe even 300 or 400, maybe up to like between 200 and 300 people just sheltering there for the next few nights.
We'll do our best to manage and keep spirits high and figure out how people are going to get long-term housing.
Ironically, the place where the most people end up sheltering for the next few nights is the theater.
Oh no!
Mayor Cameron's sort of cultural boondoggle ends up being something of a symbol of hope for the village, as again, probably 300, maybe 400 people end up living there for the next few months. Notably,
What about the fairies? Did he call the fairies' house?
oh no, they're fine. Well,
Oh my god.
actually, I do think they lived in that district. Yeah, they end up ironically live in the theater as well for a while.
Then why them stay at the farm?
So, Darrow survived.
Oh, thank God.
He's alive. He's bad, poor mood, poor spirits, because most of what he owned went up in smoke. And pointedly, no one saw hide nor hair of Oscar Hood after that. The man simply disappeared. Body never found. Spirit never found. As I have no doubt, Kemrutai, you would have checked the afterlife in the local area, perusing for ghosts and unopened calls. You do not find Oscar Hood amongst the dead.
Not
And
even
there are dead. 32 perish in the fire.
Evelyn's going to arrange a memorial plaque for those that were lost.
I am going to move time forward a bit. And the night's coming after the, what people are calling... what would they call it?
Do they know that it started in the public house?
Oh, that is known, but Darrow lost everything, so they don't want to name it after him.
Mm.
Seems a touch cruel. They call it the Playhouse Blade because of how many people ended up just sort of bunkering down Cameron. Actually, no, I think they'd call it the Market Blade. Honestly, the market, the only thing untouched that came from that part of town. In the coming nights, the townsfolk regroup, pick up. Some say that this is doomed, even as a colony. But, despite the devastation, town will eventually bounce back.
And Evelyn would have her sisters visiting the people in the theater, and also have the priests go and like give them service if they can't make it to the church and stuff, and just kind of basically try to give people hope and encouragement, and basically like she's sort of trying to form some sort of social services really, where people can like figure out what they need, and like she'll try and work with the people that are going to rebuild there. Maybe if someone's not going to rebuild, then she'll invest in building a orphanage, a schoolhouse, some kind of housing, some kind of public good.
Roll me intelligence plus leadership.
Okay.
How about the
Are we
lot of you?
still-
What do you do in the nights coming from the... And continue.
Do we have any like, has time passed since like the last session? Because I've like basically used all my willpower.
You have your willpower back.
Okay, thank you. So it was intelligence plus
Leadership.
leadership. Okay. I will use the willpower as well. Which apparently I didn't need to.
The community really rallies around you, Evelyn. Your herd, your ghoul, your influence, and leadership, and to a smaller extent your wealth, You manage to help reorganize them. Manage to put boots on the ground in the right places. Uh, this unfortunately happened in the fall. Actually, no, this was tail end of summer. Actually, no, no, or spring. This happened in the spring, so devastating fires as far as they go. This couldn't have happened at a better time.
Mm.
There is no threat of people freezing to death on the streets or going hungry, and a large portion of the workforce that has been displaced gets moved out to some of the outlying communities for a time to work on farms, fisheries, that sort of thing, to keep them busy and to keep the economy from suffering too. You are easily, in the aftermath of all this, able to snap up whatever land you want for
All right.
schools, public works, you name it. The town is grateful enough, and those who lost their homes in the fire are more than willing to sell the dirt, the ashes. In fact, some are saying that if not for the fact that you were a woman and a member of the cloth, that you should run from it. No
Well, my
doubt.
endorsement's going to mean something then.
Oh, indeed, no doubt. Whoever you would endorse would win without issue. But do help the town recover a fair bit, and perhaps even stronger than. Is anyone else doing anything in the aftermath of the fire? Particularly pertaining to the fire.
Gonna open the farm for people who need refuge and food. You're gonna support the town with the food. Gonna
Okay.
let Daryl stay at her place without having to work, and then also compensate him for all that he lost.
I'm gonna need 2 rolls from you.
Yes.
Just like Evelyn, intelligence plus leadership, and I'm going to need you to roll your fortune or wealth, whichever that one background that means you got money.
First one is intelligent plus leadership. I don't have fortune. I have resource.
That's the one. Yeah, roll resource.
Oh, thank you, 10.
So, in the coming nights after the blaze, you are able to relocate a fair number of people onto your farm, mostly in like ramshackle buildings and tent houses. You employ a fair number of people just to get them back on their feet, growing food and working the soil. So, considering you already have a full amount of hired hands, the amount of work, while you do try and give it away, it doesn't amount to much. Likewise, you attempt to pull on your finances however you can, but the most you're able to accomplish is helping Darrow rebuild his tavern. You're not able to contribute further to the financial growth, safety, or well-being, but helped. Darrow certainly forgives you once you help him rebuild his common house, this time with a...
Stone?
Yeah, with at least the ground floor made out of stone.
Sorry.
Benedict, Christoph, you doing anything?
Would join the efforts, like not really rallying people, but actually joining in the cleanup during the nights.
Basically putting your back into it and chipping in?
Yeah.
That's going to be your choice of strength plus. Actually, no. This is hard labor. That's stamina. That's endurance. You're just like clearing out rubble and stuff. You're not like building a new building.
If clearing out the rubble, and when the time comes, helping out on that side too, because guilty conscience and all that.
Right. That'll be stamina plus athletics, and then similarly stamina plus crafts.
On that second one, may I use a willpower?
You may. Just rule of thumb. From this point on, the willpower you have is the willpower you have for the session, unless you get some from your nature and demeanor. By the way, caregiver and Eye of the Storm. So Evelyn, caregiver, Emmertai, caregiver. Christoph, I believe you have Eye of the Storm.
Yep.
Get one back for each of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. First
So-
one's stamina and
You're
athletics, and the other
able
one.
to work in the night and put in a little more work and effort than others are due to your supernatural existence. You help find at least one or two people who would have otherwise perished underneath rubble, locked in cellars or caught beneath. As far as rebuilding goes, you help as you can, but you're no carpenter. You mostly end up at overnight whilst the other workers are sleeping or in tents or wherever, hauling lumber from one of the various mills to and from construction sites.
What is used for carpentry?
That'd be crafts.
I'll assist with that. Have craft for.
They don't let you? This is still the 1650s and you are a woman who is asking to help on a construction site.
Yeah.
Benedict, do you contribute at all, or are you just sort of...
Yeah, he could help with the efforts as well with physical labor,
Hmm.
and as well as he can open his boxing club for the evenings for people that wish to seek shelter for the night.
Managed to take some of the just straight up, you managed to take some of the pressure off of the other institutions that have opened themselves up to refugees. As your boxing club is a fairly large building, it's effectively a warehouse with a bunch of boxing rings in it. Able to fit a fair number of people. You were going to also help with clearing rubble.
Yeah.
That's going to be endurance plus, I believe it said athletics.
No stamina athletics.
And athletics. There we go. Those. Just as with Kristoff, you managed to help uncover a person or two in trouble in the evenings coming after the fire. Your contributions are noted and help contribute to your reputation around town, though you help no more than a more just, vampires don't tire so easily. Work when others. After a few months, things settle into normalcy. Though new construction is most definitely not going to happen. The next couple of years will be spent recovering from days, building up that. Mayor Cameron pushes for. Honestly, he uses the construction to lay out a more organized bit of street grid, separating buildings from each other, making better use of the space. No one really opposes him. For all his plans would limit the devastation of another fire. Though it does involve spending a bit of the town's treasury on purchasing plots of land. Sure that, well, chunks of land do get broken up for new roads. Fire break. Roads act as fire. However, that in the past, I'm gonna move on from Kim Tai and her immediate plan for now. Because that's what got us down this rabbit hole. And see what is with the others. Evelyn, Benedict, Gustav, what if whoever wishes to go first, or whoever wants to go at all, what are your plans for the short term in Vreehaven, the next year or so?
Well, Benedict doesn't really have any other goals, short-term goals at least, for Vreehaven. So he's just gonna operate as normal with his boxing club.
Mm-hmm. Good. Gustav, Evelyn?
You can go first. This whole situation has thrown a little bit of a wrench.
Okay. Evelyn has a lot of plans, as you already know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on page, what? I don't even know at this point. So yeah, all the plans that she already had over the 5-year time skip, any of those that didn't get completed. Plus she's also expanding into other things too. She wants to have a dry dock built so she can have a shipbuilding business and keep some of those ships for trading. She's going to keep a closer eye on the freed people that are working for Pata, and also bring Pata back to Jesus. She's just learning languages in general from the people around her, continuing to be a patron of the arts and make the chapel more, testament to her love of God and everything. Also instituting religious celebrations where people are welcome to come and have food and drink and games and things around all of the Christian holidays. She's learning about true faith as much as she can from her ghoul. She wants to make it so that the sacramental wine is made by the convent. So work on learning to do that, and maybe even set up a small vineyard if there's the land for it in the right area, but she might have to have land further out and have some workers or something. She also wants to set up a lace making workshop where she can have sisters make lace, which is very profitable, but also teach that to people, because young unwed women or housewives that need a little bit more income, that can be a good thing for them. And also for the Sisters of Gabriel, her sisters, she has a sort of, I don't know what other word to use right now, program where they can say, hey, I'm interested in learning, I don't know, this skill, and then she'll have a assessment of what that would cost to set up, and then have them have the resources to be able to learn those things. She's going to teach Benedict about Jesus, of course.
Yep.
I did confirm with Masqurade about that. Don't worry, it's not forcing it on him. She's going to continue to get to know Pauline, because they have a whole pact, and learn about the Fae from her as much as she can. She's going to set up a gallery. I guess some of that land that she bought up in the middle of town would be good for that. That will hopefully eventually be extended into an art school. And once St. Gabriel's Hospital is established, she's going to start adding to that, like, research and education branches to the hospital. She's going to try and still learn from the local tribes about the land, their knowledge of the land, supernatural forces, their culture, any medicinal practices and knowledge of the local flora that they're willing to share. Get to know the wealthy people in the area and influence them to support the Catholic Church. And as time goes on, I don't know how long the time skip is going to be, but as she should be aging, she's going to more often wear face veils, like religious face veils.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like normal nun hat thing with sheer white veil, you know, semi-opaque
Yeah,
veil.
have
So
it
it's
with a veil to hide your face.
Yeah. Just so it's harder for people to be like, hey, you perpetually look 19.
Yeah. So over the next few years after the fire, your efforts mostly succeed in the space of improving the convent, and expanding its grounds, finishing up what you'd effectively started out with. Stone, which comes from a new small town in the hills, mostly populated with runaway slaves, and actually a fair amount of displaced people from the fire. As Putterville turns effectively into a small mining town. Putter's ambitions sort of fulfilled by happenstance after a demon was wrestled from his core. You do keep an eye on it. Seemingly after the darkness was excised from his demeanor improved, the conditions there improved. He began spending more and more of his money on making the area around the quarry and the mine better. In addition, the amount of people wishing to build from stone, your convent and several businesses downtown being amongst them, brings the mine a sudden and instant success before he even has time to build like a bloomery or or any sort of like and any sort of iron refinery business that politically at this point, Evelyn, you're queenmaker, you're kingmaker. Elections will roll around again. This time it's Borman versus Cameron, pretty much. The Fae continue to support Benjamin, but honestly, most of the community looks toward the church, and after all, they not only helped so many people after the fire, they've built a church, I know they built a hospital and a school in ashen remains downtown. More.
I guess I have to have some conversations about policy with the candidates.
Foreman largely wishes to increase defense spending, put up a wall, make an actual fort. His safety, his concerns are primarily with safety and security. Cameron wishes to continue to expand the town culturally. Building up the militia is on his slate of things to do, but it's lower on the list. He thinks that as far as town guard goes, the volunteer force as it is enough. After all, they have no qualms with tribes. At the moment, the Dutch aren't at war with anyone.
Oh, the guard is just volunteers?
Oh yeah, it's a volunteer militia.
Mm.
Vorman wishes to not only start a small professional regiment and garrison for a local fortress, but create a professional town guard, a trained and permanent one.
The trouble with volunteers is that there's more of a risk of corruptibility because they're not being paid. So they might have a hard time having enough work and also having the time to be militia, so they might just use it as a way to, do corrupt things. So that's not great. That needs to change. How open is Vorman to also prioritizing public services, making sure, like he was concerned about having the roads be paved and practical things like that as well, right?
If it's for the good of the people's safety, health, he, however, thinks of certain things as frivolous spending. The creation of public works, parks, another damn theater, or some sort of big highfalutin garden like they have in Europe, thinks is frivolous and short-sighted. He's also not got a mind for business or the economy. So if approached about, say, getting a set industrial district or integrating some of the outlying towns, or like building warehouses, a dockyard, like for ship construction, or some sort of like an iron refinery, he doesn't care and not throw his support behind about like health and safety. Everything else is second.
And Cameron's basically the opposite, right?
Yeah, Cameron is more concerned with cultural works and the local economy, and doesn't think that there's a need for anything more than scaring off local wildlife, like rounding up some drunks.
Who's more flexible out of the two in terms of hearing my concerns?
So, in terms of normal mortal persuasion, they're both about the same. They both respect you, and they both would be bent with money or social influences. However, you're a vampire. And you know dominate. You could literally brainwash both of these men.
In terms of popularity, is Vorman still sort of seen as more... I don't know, because like Cameron won, but then I think people might have got a bit disillusioned.
Before the fire, Cameron was in the flagging in popularity. After the fire, they sort of both rose to equal points in the town's esteem. Cameron's theater proved to and it saved a lot of people from like the elements, and he opened up his own personal accounts to help a fair number of people get back to their feet. But Vorman's militia and leadership did also help protect and save a lot of people from death and stop the fire from getting burning any further. Then again, Vorman works for Cameron, so most of Vorman's successes Cameron could also claim for himself.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a toss-up between them. The town is largely split. There's a couple of other candidates, but they're largely irrelevant compared to the two.
Okay. Yeah, I think Evelyn will endorse Cameron, and anything that is really important, like getting the militia actually paid, at least part of them, if not the whole thing. If they still have to rely on volunteers partially, that's understandable, but at least some of them being paid. If he can't be, persuaded with words, then he'll be persuaded with words.
Do you discuss this with any of the other local vampires?
Probably Mary, Claudio, and she will not directly kind of ask Pauline in the same way, but sort of more like, hey, what do you think of them in terms of our goal of, making sure that there's no creative winter?
Pauline personally supports Benjamin. Mary, we're going to want to play Mary out.
Okay.
So,
one other thing from my list that I didn't get to mention was actually about working with Mary on political influence, so we're not at odds in who we're supporting.
Well, here we go.
Yep.
So where would you have this meeting? At Mary's place or yours?
I guess it depends. Does Mary ever come to visit me, or is it mostly me just going to visit her?
Oh, she goes to church, keeping appearances and all that, and
probably be at the church sometime then.
So during one of the times he's going up to church to mostly visit you and keep up appearance, the two of you find yourselves in a side chapel room, away from prying on discuss politics. Mary is fully aware of how your organization's intervention in the fire sort of turned things and gained you a very large amount of public support. And she sort of broaches you with the topic. So, most of the town are eating out your hand, love. Where do you think you're going to put that influence? Election's coming up.
Well, the most viable candidates are Volman and Cameron, but they're rather at extreme ends of the purposes. Volman being so obsessive about safety and Cameron being very, very steeped in the arts, but, well, either could be persuaded in the necessary areas. Cameron does seem to have the most popularity, so I'm sure that an endorsement from the Sisters of Gabriel would only ensure victory. What is your opinion?
So they got their ups and downs. Volman, I think, is more practical and a better short-term solution. Right? Safe, build up solid, basic infrastructure and protective structures. Start an institution that, frankly, I would benefit from greatly. Cameron's got his good sides, yeah? But the thing is, he's trying to make this city, well, the Amsterdam of the New World, and we've got one. It's up the coast. It's called New Amsterdam. And even that's not some big bustling metropolis. It's trying to make this a second Paris. And frankly, we're a town of including the outlying communities, about 3,000. It's too early for that sort of thing.
Yes, it's not to happen in his lifetime. But I appreciate the vision. Well, I suppose Vorman having a term would not be the worst. Any extremes that he would lean toward could be tempered.
Honestly, the man's just obsessed with making sure that we get a wall of thought and professional. If I know you were trying to get that whole dry dock thing going, yeah?
Yes.
If you
Cameron would be rather difficult to persuade in that.
If you could convince Vorman that half the ships would get made would be patrol boats, he'd be all for it.
Would the town coffers allow for such?
Well, before the fire, probably. But as it is now, we don't have a big piracy problem.
Perhaps we could have them rented rather than purchased.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, pulling the wool over his eyes wouldn't make it easy either. Telling him that we'd fund his patrol boats with some fishing galleys and some trading ships. I'll go for it. You got with him. You got to couch things like giving a child some medicine. You don't just shove the tonic down their throat. You mix it in something sweet. Then again,
yes,
both know dominate.
Well, there are effects if you use that too long on mortals. Should be sparing with it, especially repeat. On the same being could be. We want them to be able to have thoughts of their own occasionally.
Yeah. Playing puppet mistress. I found myself quite good at it. Frankly, I'll put this. Well, I had this plan, yeah? I was gonna I was gonna become Volman's young bride. Control him from behind some curtain, and be the unofficial mayoress. Be the business mind behind the martial mind.
That would require him to stay in power, however.
Yeah. Cameron I could do the same with, but he's a bit old. Might keel over and die by the end of his. And then what am I stuck with? I'd have a fortune. Whatever with the fortune.
Something to consider, perhaps? I'm not particularly inclined to advocate for the sanctity of marriage when it's not intended to be respected, but I will not judge you for it, whatever decisions that you make.
Well, Evelyn, I'm not just, till death do us part and I got it forever. Plus, it's not like I wouldn't, the only thing I couldn't do is be fruitful and multiply.
I suppose.
Even then, I had a wicked idea.
Yes?
At some point, I'd say I'd gotten pregnant. Right? I'd take a carriage off to Philadelphia. Yeah? Where I've got cousins. And stay there for a few months. And then come right back. Help my husband run the town while our child gets proper education. That or swing up to New York and have, something arranged. Point is, my daughter gets sent off someplace with proper schools, being a proper gentlewoman, with distant relatives. And then, I die after like 5 or 6 years. Tragic, young, beautiful still. And then Mary Jr. shows up on a boat. And no one's the wiser.
That could work. Might I suggest having two? Then you have one who you give some memories to of the younger. Then you have a mortal advocate. Because if only anyone goes to dig in your past and visit the places that you've supposedly been educated, and they have no record of you.
So...
Well, that's suspicious, but they have a record of your sibling. Oh, well, perhaps your records were misplaced.
So you're saying I should adopt a living girl and Dominic to shove memories in their heads?
It's an option. I mean, it's not particularly a savory idea, but it's more prudent, more safe.
I just figure who's ever going to get on about urgent now. Some folks might want back to London. I'll consider it. Definitely.
It is a little more complicated and would cost you more because you would actually have to be paying to educate this person, but, well, just consider that people will travel and word will travel and gossip will travel. And if you're not a known entity, well, people may be suspicious for all of... Yes, my sisters can claim knowledge of, your daughter, but,
Well, of course, they'd be
yes.
born here. Oh, air quote.
Yes.
Oh, is that why you're setting up a school? So you can have, like,
How do you mean?
education records and of, like, some orphan who doesn't exist that you become someday.
Well, that's an idea.
Nip off to the Vatican with their a girl come back. Oh, yeah, now I'm the new Mother Superior. Hi.
Yes, there are different avenues, but I do genuinely want to educate the town.
Of course. Why not do a good deed when you're doing yourself a favour?
Yes, I suppose you could look at it that way. So, a woman to take a term, and then once the practical elements are more settled, we can reassess.
Seems like the idea.
I would prefer that we not compete, as it were.
It's a good thing we had this chat, dear. So most of my plans are to keep a lot of us safe. And I wouldn't want us stepping on each other's toes while I'm trying to keep your foot from getting cut off. Or whatever.
Yes, precisely. Have you had any other conversations? I don't know if Christoph or Kemritai are politically minded.
I haven't checked with them, honestly. I've talked to, all bald and grumpy.
Yes.
He says politics is for the domains of, well, Ventru princes like me, and that he's busy with scholarly pursuits. I said scholarly pursuits are expensive, and that the Library of Alexandria would like to talk to him about political stability. He laughed at that. Apparently, Caesar didn't set fire to it, as he says. But am I to know?
Yes, I think he may have said something about there was a fire, but it didn't entirely burn down, and then it was mostly looted. I don't recall precisely. But
As far as I know,
think
that man's
the
orders.
fire is the most dramatic explanation.
Oh yeah,
That
that
sort
sort
will
of
be
thing
remembered.
grabs attention.
Yes.
Dramatic.
I do feel a little sorry for him trying to correct everyone, because there are things that I know that I would never bother to try to impart on anyone. It's lost to time now.
Yeah.
How are you adjusting to this life?
Well, I can't remember most of the old. Get bits and pieces here and there, flashes. But every time I try going digging deeper, come up blank. Still.
Do you
Nice.
think?
Go ahead.
Do you think someone may have wiped your memories intentionally?
Maybe. Quite possibly after I got the whole they might have did a little bit of dominate on my head, tried to get rid of their face. So in case some Inquisitor ever came around, I couldn't flip on them. Maybe they had bigger plans and they got interrupted by the whole hullabaloo back in London. I'm not to know, I suppose. And part of me is comfortable not knowing.
I suppose it's not necessarily useful information. I don't assume that they were coming after you. Not as if you were hiding. Not very well, at least.
But even then, I'm an ocean away from whatever schemes spun me into existence.
If they even survived that night.
Whatever nonsense was going on with Cromwell and his lot.
Well, I suppose that's everything. For the moment.
Suppose it is. Always a laugh hanging.
I'm glad to see you're doing well.
Just let me know when you start putting funds towards that dry dock. I've got some squirrels away, and I wouldn't mind being partial owner.
Oh, yes, that would be fine.
And with that, she bids you.
Mhm.
And with that, I am going to call. And we're back. So, we've seen from several of our vampires so far on their Kristoff, what are you doing?
So, it's alright. After the aftermath, for the most part, is going to try to get himself more involved with the guard. For the most part, both funding and training. Um, investing into the quarry while there was still time. Putting the since the tavern burned down, as I guess he could also speed up the efforts of like starting the brewery because they're suddenly a demand. Other than that, just the word would have gotten to him that Mary was well interested in the guard at some point, so he would have let them know or just talk to them about the situation. Just hey, I'm gonna get a bit more involved, kind of thing. Other than that, um, get to know the Fae a little. Just straight up invite Pauline to like, hey, I'm gonna have a brewery, so you know, better space.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Definitely acquire a warehouse away from, possibly away from the tavern this time around.
So,
And yep,
finish that.
just going through this real quick. Yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Oh, that and because this is for later, but eventually start visiting Layla too. With if Cam goes to visit.
Okay. So, I'd like you to roll a few things. Intelligence plus finance and charisma plus leadership, as well as your resource.
On this one, um, this is the intelligence for finance. That's just one of the remaining willpower, might as well.
Anyway.
This one.
So, your endeavors go fairly well. Your investments into building a brew, they thrive. You grow your own barley and wheat and berries and grapes. So you're able to produce all manner of alcohol. And land for a warehouse is easy to snap up either in of town or away from it. your contribution to the guard goes over quite well. Your expertise contributing fairly well as it morphs from a group of volunteer footmen in something of a professional garrison. Likewise, your money is well spent and helps with these endeavors a fair amount. In particular, well, just generally, you're able to invest into the quarry, which makes you money because of the amount of people purchasing stone, which allows you to feed back into your... After the fire, after reconstruction is done, you have a feeling that these things are all going to, again, feedback loop onto themselves, and Freehaven is going to be a bit of a transformation as construction effort and the professionalization of the local military and all that accumulate. There are two scenes I'd like to have. One is from Kemrutai's list, which is a visit with Lila. Christoph, you said you wanted to join in on that, and Evelyn, you said you also wanted to visit Lila and start looking into the super.
Yeah, I'm hoping that my ghoul who has true faith can pick up some things if Lila's willing, and then I can hopefully pick up things through my ghoul, but we'll see, because Lila's skill set is different from true faith magic, so...
She'll ask for Lila's permission first. And
Lila...
where she's comfortable setting up this meeting.
Lila acquiesces. She has no problem seeing the other vampires. Trusts you enough and sets a date for her to have made some preparation. Yeah. A lot of you gathering in the woods, not too far from her clearing. She set up a small picnic basket, in fact. Several times.
She'll brought some fresh produce of her own. Maybe some food that her people made.
Actually, she set up a picnic cloth and a snack for herself and her apprentice, and well, she expected you all to bring her own. As you gather beneath.
Oh, gonna bring some pig bloods in bottles.
Sister Angeline is also there.
Polite conversation is had for a short while before she just sort of like looks at a lot of you. One second. So, what brings you all out to my actual neck of the woods?
Hey, Lila. I brought some food this time. It's from my people.
Thank you. Fresh produce is always nice to have. You're still beating yourself over the fire,
Yeah.
Failing to stop something from happening isn't the same thing as causing it.
Well, she's just gonna set the basket down and take out some bottles.
She takes a loaf of bread from it and your fish sauce, bites off the cork, and just sort of spurts the like dabs the fish sauce onto the loaf of bread and bites off of it.
I see you're getting used to it.
It's got a certain... I kind of like the fishiness of it. Hot and it's ripe with life force.
Would you believe me if I said that it's just a long overdue Busy to actually get to know my neighbor proper.
I've only been out here for, at this point, what's it been, 6 years?
Kind of figure that. Kind of figured I had a spooky face and all that, you know, being the one. Well, proper, you could say, image of what you expect from us.
Hmm. But I suppose now is better than never. After all, I'm not immortal like the lot of you. I live longer than any other human, but still.
Mm. And with the gift, you do lose your track of time from time to time, so my apologies again.
Think nothing of it. You're all busy with your whatever it is you all do. And I'm out here, well, just passing on the tradition. Learning the lay of the land and all that.
Hmm.
Well,
Which. Go ahead, sir.
would you like me to get down to business? Why I'm here?
But I suppose you're not here to turn an old pagan Catholic. Trust me, it's not gonna work, dear. God's all good and whatnot,
No.
but I literally mess with his creation as my daily bread.
I'm sure you have made considerations for your immortal soul. I'm not, you know where to find me should that be something that concerns you. But, no, this is Sister Angeline. She has a gift, and I was hoping to find her a teacher that she might utilize it to its fullest.
I can smell the true faith on her. You really do believe in Christ and God. Not just believe in it, but you know it. You feel it in your bones, don't you, child? They're good for you. I can't do nothing for them. Ain't no priest. You need a priest.
Well, it was worth trying.
See, the way magic works, you have to believe in it. You have to understand it down to its most minute detail. And there's too much Bible in your head, girl. Not for not understanding, but for believing. Christ can't do it, then you can't, can you? Barely understood that was not. Might be able to pick up a trick or two, but you're gonna want to find. You've got someone to ask around for certain key terms and individual certain abilities, don't you? You're going to look into something called the Celestial Chorus. Choristers, they go by. If she's going to learn any sort of supernatural, they'll be the ones to help.
Celestial Chorus, yes, thank you.
You remember the maniac on the boat? He was one of them.
Yes. How could I forget?
Shitty one of them. Most of them are shitty, though. Too far up their own arse to hear to remember what wind feels.
Well, perhaps there can be some who are. I don't know how to turn that turn of phrase into something less graphic, but
Well,
there we are.
They're shepherds. When they see a member of their same flock that's practically beaming with Jesus light, or whatever you want to call it, they'll come a knocking. That sort of faith, that sort of belief, it brings power. Seen it, understand it, and they'll be chomping at the bit to get some of it for themselves. Being around sleepers who believe that strongly helps with the crafts.
Hmm.
Makes things more
That's-
pliable.
That's important to keep in mind. Thank you. Everything is well here. You've not encountered the Lenape or
Oh,
any
they've come
wild
sniffing around a couple of
spirits.
times. And the spirits, I've been having some conversations with him.
I see.
Many they are here. Wild they are. Like the untouched wilds of the north, or deepest peat bogs. Low and dirty. Low and quintessent. I barely takes any coaxing to get any sort of natural life out to talk to you.
Do they? What is their opinion on us?
Haven't really asked. Local wolf likes, they've come sniffing around, trying to gauge whether I'm bad or good. Once they came across the wards, they decided to double back and leave me the fuck alone. And the spirits, aside from one very nosy kitty cat, made no mention of you lot.
Was it a bobcat?
Cat with weird bobbed ears, big, furry grey.
Ah, that's the one we met back in Fantasia.
It bade me pass along the message that it was thankful, though it still thinks you should have just killed them all. Whatever that means.
Hmm.
I mean,
Spirits like
Well.
that are very direct.
He's a spirit of the hunt, after all.
Yes. They're rather practical in those terms, but I believe that the situation was resolved
as far as it could have.
sufficiently. Yes.
Drugs. I haven't heard no peeps from those fairy folk out neither myself. Those types, changelings, they tend to avoid me. Run into the wrong type. Just stop them from being.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That explains a few things.
Hmm.
Well, thank you for your advice. I suppose perhaps you want some time alone. She glances to Kim and then back to Lila and says, thank you, and we should probably not have much contact because we don't have much need of it, but should you need me, I'm sure you know how to contact me.
Well, I go to the big building full of all the pretty young ladies that you're hoarding to yourself then.
Yes, that's generally the way. She gives her a smile.
I think I'll know my way around. Believe it or
Well,
not, I
good
do
evening.
actually go to church every now
Oh, do you?
and then. Aye.
Just to
Like I
stave
said,
off
only-
the allegations, perhaps.
Yeah, that and I hedge my bets. Not everyone manages to ascend.
Hmm. Well, you're always welcome. Evelyn will leave with Sister Angeline.
Lila. This has
Yes.
been. I've been trying to look into this for a while. Would there be a way to preserve the blood that I have harvested from the pig?
Preserving it.
Hmm?
I mean, supposing you could. Plenty ways to
Because it would be really useful so I don't have to slaughter too many pigs. Well, they're usually leftovers. The it produce more blood than only I can consume, and seems on the vampire don't favor the taste of it.
There's plenty of ways to preserve blood. I'm not personally an expert. You wishing me to wake up some hoodoo for you?
Hoodoo?
Magic.
Oh, yes, yes. If I'd be really grateful if you could show me some of the ways.
That's not how that works, dear.
Oh,
I'd have to make the spell and then teach it to you.
I can actually learn spell.
Once it's been... How to put this? You know how to sew a pattern of clothes, right?
Yes.
How to stitch together a dress.
Yes.
Being a mage is knowing how to invent a pattern of dress. Come up with a whole new style and make the pattern.
Ah.
Being a sorcerer is being able to learn patterns and stitch.
Hmm.
I can do
Are
both and
you?
create as I will. You're stuck with my cast-offs.
Ah. Aren't you occupied with something at the moment? How is your recovery since the Fantasia?
I was fine in a week, darling.
Oh.
Took a little bit of a shaking it off. Getting all that arte out of my system and a bastard of paradox. But it's good to go in about a week. Most of what I'm doing now is teaching my apprentice Miss Silver the ways when she can make her way out here. She's following the footsteps in the tradition, but she's got her obligations to her family and a
Ah.
social life. And
The
currently
life
looking
of
for
a
a
lady.
husband of her own.
She's of age already.
Huh.
Well, she's about, what, 70? Courtship starts around then.
Oh.
Last I checked.
Hmm. That's more later than I thought.
Hmm. Some places it starts at 16, 15. But it's been a couple of years. And,
Mm.
well, she's learned enough of the basics that she could study on her own and advance her own path and listen to her avatar. The
I
spirits that speak
see.
to her that only her. She still comes here 3-4 times a week. Get better lessons. Learn the histories on top of everything. Should be time out for another apprentice, but finding someone with that spark. It's a tricky thing.
Very well, I will keep my eyes out. Although I haven't been into the town much.
Tell you what, darling.
Avoid. Hmm?
You drag yourself out and me some pigs. We'll do 'em up and butcher 'em, and I'll see about magic up a preservation.
Thank you,
And aside
Lila.
from that, don't stay too much a stranger from town.
Ah, you're
Pays to be
right.
seen. Besides, if you feel that bad about things, pitching into the recovery effort will be important to clear your mind, help you feel less shite about it.
I don't know what is your belief, but for my people, those kind of action it taints your soul for eternity. I just feel like there's no way back for me towards humanity again.
See, that's the thing, love. You feel terrible about it.
Yes.
She flicks you on the forehead. That means you're still human, you daft cunt. A monster wouldn't feel two shits about that. But barely care. Barely feel an ounce of guilt or nothing. All that rot eating up your guts, making you feel like you're responsible, making it so you cringe and feel pain whenever you see the sight of the burned ashes. That's your soul telling you fucked up. Which means you have a soul, you idiot.
She tears up.
Now, I believe at one point you mentioned something about caramel to me. That you have good caramel and bad caramel.
Mm-hmm.
You feel bad for all the bad caramel you put in the world by letting a loony start a fire. And then time to get off your arse and go make some good caramel. And I don't know what your religion has to do with sweets, but it sounds ridiculous. But balancing out your sheet sounds like a good first step. But the cat that's on their
Suppose you're
wine.
right. Well, perhaps I can come back tomorrow with a pig.
They'll see about figuring some sort of mess about, making blood last longer than. While you're at it, bring me some earthenware and some clay.
Earth, clay. Got it. I'll bring some of those as well. Anything
Salt too.
else?
Not this fish juice, though. It's actual salt.
Oh, yes, salt. There's a lot of that actually. Another thing, I feel I should bring to your attention. I've been able to see the sign when someone is going to die and how they're going to die. It's terrifying.
Huh. Never mentioned it. Never mentioned it before.
It is quite recently something that I came encounter with after the whole fire.
And what about this?
Hmm?
So you're saying you could see how people die and when they'll die?
Yes.
You just telling me about this new trick you learned, or are you making a proposition here? I don't want no. I don't want no knowledge of it.
Oh no, just it's been making me feel very uneasy.
Can you? Is it involuntary? Can you control it?
I can't control it.
Then by all means, don't peek that often.
Yes, I won't.
As Lila mentioned, you have already some work to do. Well, there's a lot of Don's finding his footing back again, so
Hmm.
you can find a way to help. That will certainly. It's. We'll figure a way where you can put that to use, but certainly not now.
Right.
That said, looking at Layla. Uh, I do want to thank you because I've been trying to put the freaking words for a while and I'm just not good at this sort of stuff.
Of course you're not, you're a man.
I know that one at that.
Hmm.
I tell you what, once you'll get a bottle from the next batch.
I'm honestly surprised you still have taste buds of it.
One of the few blessings I still have.
Envious.
Hey, find we'll find a way for you to circumvent that too. Come on.
Mm.
Time's pretty much our advantage.
I'm not making a spell to make you taste things, okay? One at a time. God fucking damn it.
Oh no, I wouldn't
Oh
want
no,
anything
Dan.
with that.
Oh no, don't worry. I'll see what I can do on my side. On that side. Just make some space into the house from a few bottles of well, what's your preferred? Just wine? Booze?
And they beer.
Beer it is then.
Beer.
Oh, stout.
Well, last thing I almost forgot. I'm looking to purchase this land, keeping other people from invading and cutting more into it. I realized they're getting deeper into the wooden area. Perhaps I could win that before it get too close to your area.
So you might have to work fast on that, what with the half the town burning down. Sorry. There's been renewed interest in logging. That
Well,
wouldn't happen considering that there was plans for a shipbuilding yard. Can't build ships, something that...
oh yeah. I suppose it's my priority now. Perhaps we could just do this tonight?
You want to go and buy a forest tonight? I don't think the mayor is still asleep, love. Awake. Whatever, you understand.
Yeah. Hey, you never know that. I don't know. We never decided to do a midnight play or something.
Ah. Well, if he's asleep, I'll come back and buck him again tomorrow.
Do that then.
And for that, we'll leave her alone. Unless
You...
Kristoff has anything else.
No, to that it's just like just a slight smile of like thanks again before leaving off.
Yeah, you have the remainder of your social call before parting way. And settle into the business of various promises.
Yes.
Now, considering that last conversation, Kemutai, is there anything you would like to do in the wake of the fire?
Uh, in like her goal or something else, or short term or long term goal?
Within, like, the next year or so of activity.
Oh, well, I have a long list too. I'll let you see which one is possible.
Hmm.
So, yeah, wedding is one of them. And, find a way to preserve blood that's taken care of. To buy the forest, that one is also going to be taken care of. And, set out the area where, her people can do foraging. Because, New Jersey mushroom is like a huge hop of mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
Invest in local mine, especially iron. Well, the quarry, Kristoff's already taken care of that. Expand the vineyard and get a fermenting house going. Let Pauline and Darrow help with the taste. Kristoff gone taking care of that. Uh, the whole befriending spirits, try to learn more ritual that would help the living and the dead communicate.
Mm.
Help out with the local with the soothsaying,
Mm.
or adopt a kitten or two, and eventually meet with the Lenape, see how they are in general, and seek possible alliance with them. I believe already talked with Evelyn about the last session about learning the language.
Mm.
Try to figure out how to help Leonard move on. Uh, the castle has to wait, so that's skipping that. Maybe if she runs into Rebecca Silver, we'll socialize with her as well, because
Mm.
it's basically her best friend's apprentice. Dealing with her personal family issue. At this point, she probably have to accept the fact that her mother is probably gone, and her long-lasting father issue as well. Try to like get the letter from him. If that's not possible, she might as well just start grieving him as well. And when the business is more stable, she's gonna hire the manager, so she doesn't have to do everything herself anymore, and use astrology to aid where she should invest on next.
That's a lot of stuff. Um,
Yes.
I have a few questions.
Yes.
Letter to your family.
Yes.
Um, what what are the general details of that? What's the
General details. It she would confront her father
Hmm.
of like finally like pouring her feeling that she's been trying so hard to do everything,
Hmm.
and why did he send her away? Why did he never write anything to her? And how his mother is still alive, and her siblings. So far, only sibling has written to her.
Hmm.
Yes, just rebellious face.
Right. Cool. So I'd like you to roll for that. I'd like you to roll charisma plus expression, because it doesn't sound like you're being very respectful.
No,
Uh
she's
huh.
been respectful all her life, and that didn't work out.
Next, I would like you
So,
to roll intelligence plus finance
ooh, intelligence
for your
plus
economic
finance.
sort of endeavors.
I will use my willpower for that.
Okay. Was the two the letter to your dad?
Yes.
Well, first of
Oh
all, you
wait, I
rolled a
rolled on. There
d3.
was a 1d3. My bad.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 3d10.
Yeah, that's different.
Oh,
Last, I'd like you to roll your resources.
resource. Let's go. App.
So, your investments go decently well. As said before, the vineyard thrives and wines, beers, all manner of things. You invest in the mineral industry, which, after the success of the quarry, begins expanding as um, Hilltown North grows into something of a mining village. Sort of like how Fantasia, Grunberg, Eastern Cliffs, and Blood all farming villages. That's sort of turns into a place of mineral. Um, begin establishing a reputation as a credible soothsayer of sorts. Um, Catholic folks tend to cross themselves in your presence if they are particularly zealous, though you do have a fair number of townsfolk who believe in, like, petty acts of the occult, coming to you for advice and what have you. Advice is well taken, expected to. Then there's a letter from.
Oof.
It's a mixed bag. For the one, at several points in time, he calls you an idiot. He points out that he sets you up with a powerful and wealthy foreign, in his mind, prince, and finds your lack of faith in his investment disrespectful, and finds the fact that you left their household, the prince's household after his death, borderline madness. He says that he did this for your good, for your safety, protection, for your wealth and prosperity, and that if you could not recognize that, then he did a poor job of raising you. He offers you reconciliation. After all, you seem to be wealthy enough to send letters across the sea and send foot servants to and from. So, if you wish to come home, he will speak to you about this in further detail, accept apologies and apologize in turn, perhaps, and welcome you back in the family and find you a better husband. But if not, sent you a final set of gifts and wishes you the best. It seems cold, it seems a bit cruel, but there's something about it that you can tell with your levels of emotional and emotional perception and other perception that he does seem to care. He just can't communicate it through layers and layers and layers of protocol and politics and all of that stuff. That he wants you healthy and happy, but either does not know how to provide that, or is too tied up in the goings-on of a court to do so. And underneath that strictness and that very much protocol-driven, high society bullshit, he cares in his way. The fact that he offered to reconcile means that he is in some way subtly admitting his own guilt and his own fault. Your siblings also send several gifts. This, oddly enough, does include more servants. About 7 more people come to work on your farm from Thailand.
Oh dear, how many servants does she have now?
At this point, you've got like somewhere in the ballpark of 30 Thai people just sort of living on your land.
Oh dear.
And do manage to stay in good communication with at least a couple of your elder brothers and younger sisters. And just your various family members.
Do any of these servants
your mother is
seem
dead.
to be... Oh no.
Died quietly in her sleep of a few.
Oh no. She's gonna hold a distant ceremony for her. And in any of these servants, any of them magical?
I'm going to roll a D100. No.
Oof.
None seem to have any immediate present magic or supernatural ability. A couple of them know how to fight. One of your older brothers sent you bodyguards.
Oh, I'll introduce the bodyguards to Kristoff. And I'll write a little back thanking the family, apologize to her father and understand. Also explain that she's sick with some sort of sickness, so she cannot go home and bring this. Is very dangerous, but yeah, she misses her family really dearly, and she also held the ceremony for the mother here. Also would send him some heads up, like she'll look into astrology and send him any sort of warning that she may recognize for him.
Well, would Kim have discussed or shown the letter?
Yes, we'll even read it when Kristoff's around, weep a couple times, trauma dump, and then read some more.
Then he would at some point mention to add that they're already found a person. literally not elaborate and just leave.
Right. Moving on to some of your other endeavors. As time moves on, you manage to make contact.
Oh.
It's not like talking to a ghost or a person, though. It's... how to put this? They're there. They exist. They witness things. They know things. And it takes a lot for you to coax them out. The few times you manage to pull it off, it feels like you're forcing them to speak to you. Like you're ripping them out of the living into present world when you reveal them.
Ah.
They do not come to offering. They do not respond to requests. You must demand them. Force them to manifest.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's the way.
Do you, even knowing this, do you still wish to attempt to, like, regularly
Uh, yes. But just well, the first few times probably just call them out to accept her offering.
yeah, that over a couple of years you learn that that doesn't work.
Oh, that doesn't work.
You must demand
Uh,
them and force them to manifest. Yeah, to
oh.
respond to you.
After the first time when she forced them to manifest, like what? How do they seem? Like, are they pissed? Are they upset?
Fearful.
Oh, she would apologize and let them go. Sorry, didn't mean to. I'm so sorry.
You, like the first time it happens in a moment of frustration. You exerting your psychic power, your vampiric abilities. It's almost like casting dominate in a weird way, but
Oh.
through your heightened aspects, and you manage to force some nature spirit to spawn, exit the earth, and come to demands of presence. When tried these things dozens of times that should have worked, but
Oh, then she would give them her 2 cents. Like, why are they making this so complicated? Like, all she wanted to do was befriend and get to know and understand, so she wouldn't make any mistake. And she would just like pour her heart out why she was frustrated.
and it responds that you learn that the spirits of the land are afraid of you. They're afraid of vampires. In general, you are of a thing that frightens.
She will ask if there's a way to change that, because she didn't mean them any harm. She wants to live in harmony.
They simply would have told you then to let them be. They, if all you seek is harmony, then to speak to those who can to go through some medium, to find someone else who can speak to them and use them.
Oh. She will ask where to find those people.
So this is gonna be a little meta because I don't want to like improvise a weird, spooky, inscrutable message. Basically, they tell you to go to the Lenape or like a mage.
Ah. All right. Yes, that she'll wait for the meet up with Lenape when Evelyn goes to meet them. Then she'll tag along.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Last, as far as your business endeavors go,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I already covered that. They go well, not spectacularly, but well. And right, the next scene is going to be well, the Lenape tribe members, werewolves, be to meet with them. They choose an interesting location though. The town graveyard.
Oh.
what used to be a small collection of crosses has grown into a full graveyard with headstones and all after the fire. I'm gonna
Oh,
choose to
and
meet you there on
Cam would
one.
visit that place regularly, so there wouldn't be
Mhm.
any problem, right?
No, you know the place. It's not far from town.
Ah, on what condition?
The condition is that you meet them there.
Is Evelyn going as well?
If it was arranged through her, then yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. How many years since it's been? Since
At,
the fire?
at this point, since the fire, it's been about 5 years.
Oh, would that be enough time for her to learn the language?
So both of you have been trying to learn Lenape from
Yeah,
some of the trappers.
Evelyn's already learnt it.
Kemurtai, please
So-
roll me intelligence plus. I'm gonna say academics.
Would a quick learner help with this? Have specialization in intelligent quick learner,
Yes.
which doesn't really matter.
You didn't roll any tens. I'm gonna say you have a conversational understanding of it. You're not fluent, but you can ask about more than just basic concepts.
Just
So-
just an aside about the Lenape. When Evelyn first met with them, she asked them to like let people know if they were interested in learning about Catholicism, and she wanted to learn about their culture and stuff. So I don't know if that's been going on.
Occasionally, some non-supernatural members of their people have come to town. They've been visiting a little bit more, not a lot.
Okay.
But it's rather than like constant silence between the two people. They'll actually occasionally come to Bloodland Bend or the outer reaches of Haven to do trading,
Okay.
as opposed to just leaving there be a distance.
Mm-hmm.
Baby steps, basically. We've had one in all this time show up to church and ask, "What's a Jesus?" Effectively.
I'm so glad you asked.
Oh
And you
dear.
enthusiastically talked their ear off.
You show them the Korean Jesus.
Do we have that
Pull-
yet?
You pull the curtain off of a wall with a very buff, sexy Jesus glistening royal.
Let's go.
Mary Magdalene just fainting in his arms.
Oh my god.
Like a fucking Boris Vallejo painting.
Who paid that?
I know a guy. And of course, he doesn't look like a white Jesus. No way.
No. He's tan with really pretty curly hair.
Oh my god.
Surfer
Right.
Pro Jesus.
So,
Yes.
late one autumn evening. At this point, probably in 1660 something, some late October, you arrive in the graveyard. It's gotten much bigger since. Not only has 10 years passed, there was also a large fire.
This is about the time of the prophecy.
Whereabouts?
Evelyn will greet them respectfully in their language.
Kim would do the same.
The woman. Her name's Otase. Otes, I think. Again, I apologize to any Native American communities watching. I'm a white man trying to treat you respectfully. Probably failing. She speaks up. Have been keeping an eye on you. Spider people.
Oh.
Evelyn nods.
May I ask why we are called spider people?
Because you are
Bobcats
of the
also
Weaver.
called- Huh? What is the
stasis
weaver?
forever. She who casts a web and ensnares things, freezes them, preserves them,
Is
who are of
she
her stock.
is she an evil being? Is that why the spirits are so afraid of us?
The great spirits are not spirits you speak to, are beings of the wild. The weaver, she snares them. Of course they fear.
Ah, I see. Well, I did not mean to terrify any of the spirits. I just hope that we can coexist and perhaps maybe there's a chance that we can help each others for what's to come in the future.
Will depend on you, or perhaps the men in that.
The men?
It grows. It continues to grow. We have several of our tribe who are proven warriors, not of fire and steel, but of fang and claw. Yet I feel that if your Firehaven, your town, continues to grow as it does, if they turn their weapons on us, our nation, in a way, in our rage, tear them down. Have us at a grow daily, spider person. Tell us why. Tell me why we should not reverse that advantage and drive you all out.
It would be rather futile. More would come to replace us.
Yes, and it will become more lost than anything fruitful.
In fact, this is not a threat, but should you bring arms against the people moving here, then there may be others that come from other towns specifically to fight with you. To see you as a threat, that they might have to defend themselves or act in the offense to prevent any such attack. I understand this is your land. We're merely guests here, but there's no stopping the tide. These people will continue to settle here, and the towns will continue to grow.
Yes, these people are beyond our control. What we can do, though, is keep our eyes on them for you from the inside.
I have influence
Yeah.
over them,
Hmm?
but I can only work with the situation that we have at hand. It is merciful that no one has come to blows since that awful business of the people impersonating you to attack caravans, but as you say, tensions grow.
Hmm.
That is part of why. Step after step, we thought you would sick your fangs, reap the blood, slaughter, dominate, try to make this land. In fact, you have shown caution. You have shown stability. You killed those who wished to start a fight with our tribe. When madness reigned over one, when a bane pulled over a soul of struck the
You saw that too?
wished to see if there were any us among. They would smell the bane and kill it. Fight though. Fight much worse than it is why we pay.
Yes, and I understand your caution. our nature requires it. I hope that our actions have proven to you, at least for the moment, that what I said was true, that we have intent here to help the people, not merely to gorge ourselves or dominate everyone. But I do fear the growing tension, and do you have anything you would ask of me that I might help to prevent any aggression between your people and the people of the towns?
Your people, they, the other, one of the, his name was Luxem. Your people claim ownership of land. They carve it up on a map, exchange, say this is mine.
That is their way, yes.
And they respect these boundaries, Mark.
Yes,
Yes.
generally speaking.
And you say, and this one, he says you have no control over them. Say you have.
Yes, I can influence them. I can ask them to do things in the name of their immortal soul, and I can speak with those in power who do have the rule of law and the militia upon their beck and call.
You guarantee our land, place of our tribe's home, shall not be snatched up by those the sea, by the rest of your town. Orders are respected. Then agree or over to, if you would make suggestions on how to do so.
Yes, I can certainly discuss that with the mayor, and we may need some form of marker, perhaps stone or large wood, just to note the boundary, and then we can inform everyone, you do not trespass on this land, and should you have any trespasses, we would also have some arrangement between those of your people who would have a look, keep an eye out on the perimeter, patrol the perimeter of your lands, should anyone trespass. Any unwanted guests. Would that be suitable?
So long as it is respected and maintained.
Yes. Of course, I cannot entirely guarantee that everyone will abide by the law, but the law will be enforced. So if someone should trespass, if someone should harm you, take from you in some way, then they would be punished per our law. Or should you take that into your own hand, as it would be your land, then there would be there should be no repercussion. But of course, it is one of those political issues. But the first thing to do will be to discuss with the mayor, form an agreement, and a contract. We'll have something in writing for you to sign, translated in both of the languages, and arrange markers so that it is clear to anyone who would come near your land not to trespass over the border.
And you, with your long age, you have been here 10 years today, you will see to it this is respected. See that this is kept up.
Yes. I give you my word.
Know that if you break this agreement, you'll die first.
I understand. I do not take this lightly. I know you do not know of me, but I understand how important this is in ways that I cannot explain.
Very well. Have an agreement. Know this one. Spider people. Agreements are trespass. No. Thinking that we can be merely removed. Poison these spirits. Our claws will be die.
I understand you have no reason to trust me other than having observed my actions over these years.
The fact that we have observed you, seen as you have done, is why this conversation is.
Yes.
There is already trust being shown.
Yes,
We are on a
well,
holy site of yours.
this is true.
Oh,
What I mean to say is, I understand your caution, and how to phrase this?
I wouldn't call it holy.
I've more concern for preserving your ways than expanding my own domain. That might seem outrageous, but take it for what you will. You need not believe me.
Our deal is struck then. We will be in contact.
Very well, I will make the arrangements with the towns.
Oh, before you go, here, she'll hand them the friendly basket.
They look at it.
Fresh produce, seeds, and fish sauce.
Thank you.
That's my people's delicacy. It's edible. It's actually really good. I hope you enjoy.
Muskin takes a sniff of the fish sauce and gags.
Oh
This has gone bad.
no, it's fermented fish in salt and water.
I have seen mortals eat it, and they have been fine. So
Smells like what you said. This is. Ugh.
Try it first. You see, it just smells bad, but once it goes into your mouth, it changes completely. It's very delicious.
Puts it back in the basket. Looks at you suspiciously. The woman. We're leaving. And she transforms into a giant wolf. You see fur growing from her body rapidly, your bones popping and sinew tearing, and see muscles bulge and grow. Her clothes somehow fading into the fur itself. The man does the same, their body undergoing this rapid, somewhat grotesque transformation. Before he picks up the basket almost entirely in his giant maw. They're the size of bears, by the by. But
Evelyn will nod to them respectfully as they leave.
Please get home safely.
and wordlessly they kick off and away, moving faster than a horse.
That looked really painful.
Well, they seem accustomed to it. I'm not entirely certain that giving them a fermented fish sauce was wise. They seem to think you might be trying to poison them.
Well, hopefully they like it.
Perhaps one of their number will be brave enough to chance it. I'm not even certain if they have any fermented foods in their normal diet.
Well,
They must do.
how would they survive in winter then if they don't?
I should learn more about that.
Come by my farm sometime. Like there are ways of preserving food as well, not just dry aging and uh fermenting with vinegar and salt.
Well, I suppose there could be some use for it at the convent.
Mm-hmm.
How are things at the farm?
Things are great. Father and brother sent some more servants, and
Oh, you're in
things
contact with your
starting to work
family.
out. Yes.
I see.
Well, I believe my father and I have reconciled.
Oh,
Hopefully, I could express that on my next letter.
I did not know you were at odds.
Yes, for the longest time, I held this against him for sending me away. I thought it was just he never see any worth in me because I couldn't find any suitor, but he was just trying to set up a future for me,
Ah,
even if that didn't work out.
this
But
does explain some things.
yes, I could tell. After all, he risked his life sending me away as well. But mother, she has passed.
My condolences.
I hope it was not painful for her. We held a ceremony back at my farm.
Do you know what the cause was?
A fever.
Oh, yes.
They're getting old. I just
Yes,
hope my
likely it
letter.
was. She has wealth. Likely she had ways to ease suffering.
Yes, I just hope my letter reached my father before he passed too.
Hmm.
Hmm. How are things at the convent?
Going very well, yes. The celebrations for holy days have been very successful. Many of the townsfolk visit, and my sisters are doing well. Yes.
Good to hear. Uh, Christoph and I are getting married.
Ah, I see.
Yes, and we've been well throwing the ideas around, and I'm not sure how we're supposed to do this. As far as I know, he I don't know if he believes in gods anymore, and my people's ceremony is very complicated.
I see. So you were considering having the ceremony in tradition of your family, or you were looking to recreate the local customs? The
Perhaps the local custom.
yes. Well, should you need a chapel, I have one.
Hmm. Very well. I'll get in touch with you with that.
Do you want me to discuss with Christoph what his preference would be?
Yes, maybe it is easier.
Very well. I
Thank
shall
you,
do that at
Eileen.
my earliest convenience.
Hmm.
Two of you continue to walk as you walk from the garden and make your and quickly planning for a wedding, working on activity, boxing, managing the convent, being effectively the head of a farm. All these things, night after a lot of you eventually fall in, only interrupted by the changes of. At one point, the town, well, it enters war. a distant one that actually never sees your shores, but everyone is put on high alert and curfews are instated, and it's a very annoying. But, well, muddling. And after it is done, the town of Rehaven is no longer owned by the Dutch, or the House of Orange. It falls under the property of the British Crown and joins New England colonies. Not much changes. There is talk of change in the town, but that and what it settles on, it even does, is a matter for another time. Years creep forward. Mortal, common, slowly, ever slowly. Vicar Johannes Brompt passes quietly in his sleep. There's a ceremony before a new vicar.
Oh, that's the Protestant priest, right?
Yeah, that was the Protestant priest. Names.
Is Emily showing up to his ceremony?
Of course, professional courtesy.
Hmm.
He never did want to start a fight about this.
Mm-hmm.
Former Mayor Cameron dies of old age. And probably gout, to be honest. About halfway through Gabor Vorman's first term. A few others slip into the great beyond. Of note, Bjorn Adelberg, the troll. Though, with you keeping in touch with the Fae, they treated him as though he was dead earlier than that, saying that he had undergone a change, that his Fae spark had extinguished.
No.
The elder member of House Strock passed away, much to everyone's celebration. Crabby old bastard having gone the way of, well, gone to the place many people had wished him to. And of the others, many grow old and gray. Eventually you have to replace your ship captain, the one who bore you to these lands and had done several very long trips across the seas for you. Captain Captain O'Neill. David O'Neill.
Oh.
And as you keep touch with Picard and Pauline, you can see them both grow older.
Oh.
Pauline, for her part, eventually does settle down and marry, and after having a pair of kids. It was strange, she seemed to have been losing her changeling spark, as Puckard had placed it, but after having children, it seemed to have redoubled.
Aww.
The woman is now an early grandmother. Picard himself also has had a child, though him later in life. Lila,
Legitimate?
there were rumors, to the other hand, but the wedding cleared that up.
Oh.
Whether the rumors whether or not his girlfriend was pregnant, being the rumors. Amelia, for her part, never does remarry, and unless turned to a ghoul, becomes a kindly old woman quite regularly. Dvor Vorman is eventually married by Mary, who wields the man like a cudgel. Before long, she becomes the true power behind it. And officially, Mary dies of about 50, leaving town for about 15 years there, for coming back as a sprightly young 20-something. Francois, likewise, unless Gould, would become a bit of a grey old man and a bit of a local hero. Becoming one of the captains of the official militia and the local garrison command. He's still alive, though old and grey. He and Lottie having had 3 children, and his children having had borne him a total of 6 grandchildren. The Capets have a small presence in the town. Many others have come and gone. Oddly enough, you would have expected your changeling friends' children to be changeling, but no. The population of changelings seems to grow and shrink in weird patterns. Sort of like how Bjorn seemingly lost his spark, as they called it. Now there's a total of, last you checked, 15 of them.
Huh?
Going here and there about in their merry crusades and adventures. They typically leave you be, the old curmudgeons, as they call them, of, your 2 Fey friends being the main bridge between empires and... Likewise, on 2 occasions, there were mass killings. A sudden burst of violence under the full moon, before a pair of Lenape took away some found shell-shocked in the morning. Hubert Putter, for his part, is remembered fondly. Putter Town having grown into a bit of an industrial hub in the hill. Hundreds of freed African slaves, making up about half the town population. All told, by the time our kindred noticed the passage of time having gone by, 50 years had passed. Two generations. They had now been residents of the town of Rehaven for 55 years. Each of them now having been vampires for longer than they'd ever been alive. For some, by a long shot. Mary, in her new identity, was a mover and a shaker. Though her political influence had waned, she became something of a local debutante. Wealthy, having been the daughter of one of the longest-running, schooled in Paris. Claudio, for his part, is still kicking around, having started a local newspaper, printing house. He had made contact with a rising organization, the Camarilla, founded not long after the Anarch Revolt, which made your sires so powerful. It is an influential, and what perhaps is what shakes our kingdom from their stasis, from their as after 50 years, as its industries grew, become a bit of a manufacturing hub. Its population growing to about 15,000 more souls. In the year of our Lord, 1705, Mary Borman, Benedict Flores, Kemru Tai, Christophe van Castile and Evelyn Bouchon are no longer the only vampires in the new world. Continues. The old world. And that is where really controlling the town and shaping its destiny before others arrive to exert their influence. Oh, was I cutting out?
No, you're fine.
That might have been OBS.
Oh.
Well, that all being said, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. That is the final session of Vampire New World, at least season